billions of people with their diverse mindsets complete tasks in different ways. The same applies to criminals. However, the crime being discussed here is one of its kind. In this video, we will take you through the strange story of Tatsuya Ikiyashi. The case has a lot of unusual and unsettling facts, including a corpse and a flower pot, plastic surgery to disguise, and a global manhunt for a culprit that would take police years to find throughout the whole country of Japan. So, let's go right into Tatsuya's narrative and find out this story. 23-year-old Lindsay Hawker mysteriously disappeared on March 24, 2007 in the Japanese city of Chiba. What police discovered in the days that followed was not only upsetting, but also sparked a 3-year manhunt. Lindsay Hawker traveled all the way to Tokyo to teach English. It was meant to be the beginning of a great adventure, but it evolved into something so horrifying that it inspired a best-selling memoir and ultimately a blockbuster film. Taking you through the profile of the culprit, Tatsuya Ikiyashi was a 28-year-old man from the city of Ichikawa, also located in Chiba Prefecture. He was born into a successful family. His father was a doctor at a local hospital in Chiba, while his mother was also a professional dentist. In his younger years, Tatsuya had ambitions to follow in his father's footsteps in becoming a doctor, but he couldn't. Even after completing his degree, Tatsuya did not make an effort to find any work. Instead, he lived on an allowance from his parents. To your surprise, Tatsuya's criminal record had no alarming convictions with the law against him. However, he had been allegedly involved in theft and injury. Allegedly, he had assaulted a woman on the street during a robbery, but the matter had been settled out of court. Ikiyashi was also described as a loner, a fitness freak, and a little reclusive and rebellious. The initial interaction between Lindsay and Tatsuya was not very pleasant, as it started with Tatsuya following Lindsay all across the city. Tatsuya asked Lindsay if she'd be interested in providing him with English lessons, as he felt like he needed a little bit of help with the language. Being reluctant at first, Lindsay finally agreed to teach Tatsuya when she was given a hefty compensation for each class. Both parties mutually agreed on the interaction to be strictly business, so they decided to meet at a coffee shop for studies. Fast forward to a few days later, Tatsuya trapped Lindsay to follow him into her apartment. Once she entered the house, she didn't return, which raised several eyebrows. That afternoon, Lindsay didn't show up for work, and when she didn't return home after several hours, her housemates decided to phone the police and file her missing. Lindsay's friends had an idea about the guy she had been meeting, so it was not difficult for the police to reach Tatsuya. The traces led the police force to Tatsuya's apartment. Looked strange to them that his bathtub had been moved from his bathroom to his balcony.
22-year-old Lindsay Hawker had been working as an English teacher in Japan when police found her naked body in a sand-filled bathtub in Tokyo.
Tatsuya unlocked the door, taking advantage of the commotion to flee the scene of the murder. The police discovered Lindsay Hawker's nude body in the bathtub on the balcony after inspecting Tatsuya's residence. She was entirely submerged under a layer of earth and sand applied by him. Her right hand, which was protruding from the tub, was the only visible part of her. After further examination, they discovered that Tatsuya had covered it with flower seed, pretended it was a flower bed, and added a decomposition agent to the soil combination. Police also discovered several women's wigs scattered about the lodging, which led them to suspect Tatsuya was a cross-dresser. The very next day, Tatsuya was the most wanted man all across Japan. Police distributed several natural and Photoshop posters of Tatsuya to find him, but all in vain. Fast forward to the years 2008 and 2009, Tatsuya frequently lived in cyber cafes and started working on construction projects to get by. With the funds he could save, he would put some towards plastic surgery to change his looks and avoid being discovered by the legal system. However, here comes the strangest part of the story. Due to the fear of getting caught by the law enforcement agencies of Japan, Tatsuya decided to change his appearance to disguise himself with a new look. Tatsuya had transformed his look through self-mutilation even after becoming wanted by the legal system. He cut off his moles, used scissors to snip off parts of his bottom lip, and finally sewed a thread across his nose to alter its shape. The personnel at a clinic where Tatsuya underwent nose surgery got suspicious and reported him to authorities, which ultimately led to his imprisonment for his attempts to alter his look. Ikiashi, 32, confessed raping Lindsay and then murdering her, but insisted he didn't mean to.
僕が殴ったせいで彼女の目の下は黒く腫れていました。このままじゃ返せない、そう思ったんです。
However, the Chiba District Court found that the former horticulture student had murdered the girl with intent when he applied pressure to her neck. He quickly revealed that he lured Lindsay into his house, raped her, then strangled her out of fear that his neighbors would overhear her cry and bring him to justice due to the nature of the crime. Many voices were calling for Tetsuya to get the death penalty, but on July 21st, 2009, he was instead given a life sentence with a minimum of 10 years in jail before parole became an option.
Help us get justice for this girl that she so rightly deserves.
The unique and strange crime of Tetsuya became so famous across the country that Tetsuya didn't leave the chance to cash in on his popularity. He published his book where he confessed to having killed Miss Lindsay and having his face mutilated to save himself. The book was later translated into a movie called I Am Ikiashi, Journal of a Murderer, which gained equal popularity amongst the masses. This is it for today's video. Do you think the idea of self-mutilation to hide the identity is worth deploying? Let us know. Stay tuned for more spine-chilling videos like this. Till then, have a nice day.